What if I told you the way Bitcoin operates is about to take a step forward? What is Stacks and how does it work? Bitcoin, the largest blockchain in the world with a market cap of $1 trillion, is about to get a lot larger. You need to ask yourself one question. Are you in, or does your punk feel lucky? Hi, friends. I'm Ashley, your core developer from digital signal processing, pattern recognition, AI, blockchain. I've been building projects and developing since the late 90s. My latest project, 3NS Web3 naming service, is really the next evolution of BNS or ENS. Imagine being able to control your Audi or your NFT and add royalties and hook into DeFi protocols through a browser, through a URL. And I'm really excited about that. We won a grant from Stacks Foundation to build it, so I've been digging into how Stacks works technically. Today, I'm going to be answering some questions I threw up on Twitter. So we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive, a technical deep dive, but even if you're a non-techie, you should be able to follow this and get something out of it. I'll also be showing you how to vote in the upcoming Nakamoto upgrade to the Stacks blockchain. And I'm going to be highlighting throughout what this upgrade means to you and what it could mean potentially to the Bitcoin ecosystem. So what are the questions you need to know the answers to, and how will it affect you? Let's peel back the layers. Get it? Bitcoin layers. So what is Stacks and how does it work? Stacks is an L2 blockchain built on Bitcoin. It uses Bitcoin finality to secure its network. So what does that mean? Essentially, Stacks is producing blocks, and at a faster rate. After Nakamoto, it will be every 5 seconds or thereabouts. And those blocks are secured by the Bitcoin network. So the first question I threw up on Twitter was, what is Stacks' consensus mechanism? Is it proof of transfer? Congratulations if you answered yes, that is correct. Proof of transfer is the consensus mechanism of Stacks. And the way it works is that miners spend BTC, and stackers receive that BTC for selecting which blocks and reward the miners with STX, which is the native token of the Stacks blockchain. So it's the combination of those two parties. And that's the thing that you should remember. There are miners and there are stackers. Miners are spending BTC, stackers are rewarding STX. So the big change post Nakamoto is that there is a separation of concerns. So previously, miners were deciding what goes into the block, and they were also deciding which block should be elected. This led to forks and miners having a lot of control over the network. So what this Nakamoto release is doing is separating those concerns out. So miners still produce the blocks, so it's still, the security is still guaranteed by Bitcoin. But instead stackers just providing STX, they are now actually electing and deciding which blocks to choose. Okay, and this really solves a big problem that Stacks, I believe, faced previously, in that the miners had a lot of control over the network. And obviously, miners are there to extract value, right? They want to get paid as much as they can. And by being able to not only create the blocks, but select which blocks go into the chain, they could, if you're a large miner and contributing a lot of BTC, you could effectively lock out all of the other miners and create blocks only for yourself and earn the maximum amount of value back from that creation. So Bitcoin, Nakamoto really solves the MEV problem of Stacks previously. And it does that, which leads us into this question number 2 quite nicely. So Stacks miners are elected by a weighted random function proportional to the amount of BTC. Is this fair? Okay, so the first part, let me just answer the fair part. So I believe Stacks is fair because it's an open network, right? So anyone can spark up and be a miner, anyone can be a stacker and earn and lock in their STX. So in that sense, it is fair. Now, when we talk about fairness in terms of how it operated before, versus how it operates post Nakamoto, I think you need to think about incentives. So the incentives for STX in proof of transfer, or the incentives for BTC in proof of transfer, were really tied around miners deciding which block, the contents of the block, and which block would happen next. Now, what's happening is that if you're a big miner, you could essentially, using a function called commit op, you could essentially do a little bit of work and then lock out all of the other miners. And because the way the sorting algorithm works, if you were the only miner on that block, you would be elected. So that means that you would earn all the cash, right? So you get paid because you effectively locked out all of the other miners from operating. So to get over that, Nakamoto is introducing a new sorting mechanism. It's called assume total commit with carryover. So what is ATC-C and why should you care? So the assume total commit carryover is a way of essentially testing miners, and it looks at whether they're operating more than 50% and excludes them if they're not. It also has some other criteria to get rid of miners that are not participating actively in the network. But this does open a new failure mechanism. So if remember, our miners are the ones creating the contents of the block, and our stackers are the ones deciding which block to go in. That solves the problem of not having any forks. But what happens if stackers cannot decide together collectively what block to include? That raises a panic situation in Rust, and digging through the code, I've not been able to find what happens in that scenario. But I assume, given the diversity of stackers out there, this will be a very rare, if not impossible, use case. And I'm looking at the SIP to add some feedback around that. So the next question was, do stackers lock their STX tokens to a specific miner in return for BTC? And how do stackers work, and what is their relationship to miners? Okay, so we remember miners are the ones creating the contents of the block, and stackers are deciding which block to include next. So stackers use a database called Stackers DB, which is an off-chain DB to synchronize themselves in a peer-to-peer network using a contract called POX-4. And it uses this weighted snore threshold signatures, WSTS, as a way of distributing the key across all of the stackers. So you can imagine it sort of like a multi-sig, and the multi-sig wallet is the one signing which block to include next across the stackers. So the relationship between the miners and the stackers is one of partnership, one where they help each other secure the network. And I think with this next Nakamoto release, it becomes a lot fairer as well. So I did say that I would show you how to vote on the upcoming Nakamoto release. I hope, in fact, that you do vote yes on it. So what you need to do is head over to https://stx.eco. Make sure that the URL is correct and it is using HTTPS. You'll end up on a page like this. You'll connect your wallet. I'm using Lether, which is a very popular wallet in the Stacks ecosystem. You press connect up here. It will ask you to confirm your wallet. Just go ahead and hit yes to that. Read more about the Nakamoto release here. And then if you're a solo stacker, community pool stacker, there's different ways that you can do that. If you are a solo stacker, you will need to send a dust amount of BTC. I think it's somewhere around 6,000 or 600 sats. I can't remember. If you are part of a community pool, you can do that by sending a minimal amount of STX. If you want me to create a video on how to become a stacker, either a solo or part of a community, let me know in the comments below, or like the video and I'll create another one on that. But in this case, for this account, I'm just going to do it as a non-stacker. So I'm just going to hit this, and then I should be able to just vote yes or no. So hit vote yes, and then hit confirm. It will take some time, and note you should also receive. It might take some time because the network is currently not upgraded. One of the things to know that you've got 13 days to finish this. So it ends on block number 1961. I don't believe there is any kind of wallet masking, so you might be able to choose different wallets and vote from all of the wallets that you have. But let me know in the comments below if you've tried that. So that's how you vote on Nakamoto release. It's quite exciting to see what's coming up. So that just about wraps up this quick video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful for you. And just don't forget, things are evolving very quickly in the blockchain space. 3NS Web3 naming service is coming, and it's going to unlock a bunch of new value for your audios, your NFTs, for brands. So please stay in touch with me, follow, like, all of that stuff. And I wish you a good day. Thank you.